Momento Zen ofrecido por IKEA. Encuentren su paz interior, ordenando su ropa interior. Que organizar cada cajón sea como una meditación. Organicen y solucionen su caos diario con un nuevo armario.
Visita IKEA y encuentra la manera de que tu habitación respire paz y armonía y tú también, con buena calidad y buen precio. IKEA, sueña sin medida.
What's up, Canuck fans? Welcome to The Line Change, a Vancouver Canucks podcast, which is a proud presentation of DraftKings Sportsbook, as well as a proud member of the Hockey Podcast Network. Be sure to check out the network for your favorite podcast covering your favorite team at thehockeypodcastnetwork.com, the home of hockey podcasts, every team, everywhere. Now, in this video, we're going to be going over a new report from TSN's Darren Dreger that the Vancouver Canucks are listening on teams calling about Elias Pettersson, the forward, EP40. They've been calling about his availability and his date, and this dates back to when Pettersson returned from a 3-week absence, which was reported by the province's PJ, Patrick Johnston. And this was right around Christmas time when he returned from his injury. Now, we're going to go over an article from Trevor Beggs of the Daily Hive, co-host of Locked On Canucks, also a friend of the podcast. So let's go ahead and dive right into that. It's been almost 2 years since the Vancouver Canucks handed Elias Pettersson the most expensive contract in club history. Now, in just the second season of his massive 8-year contract, the Canucks could be looking to trade Pettersson. TSN's Darren Dreger reported on Tuesday that Vancouver is listening when teams call about the availability of the Canucks' highest paid player. The Vancouver Canucks are listening and will listen to interest in Pettersson despite believing that if he gets a change of scenery and a new start somewhere else, he's going to thrive in a new environment. Dreger also mentioned that there's been no contact between the Canucks and Pettersson's agent, Pat Brisson, something that would have to occur before a trade since the 27-year-old has a full no-move clause. However, that doesn't mean teams haven't been calling about his availability. 2 weeks ago, Patrick Johnston of the province reported that teams have been calling the Canucks about Pettersson. At the time, the Canucks' center was just returning from a 3-week injury absence. While he's still nowhere near the player he once was, Pettersson's defensive numbers have remained solid, even though he's going up against the opposition's top players on a nightly basis. Now, let's bring up this real quick. This is Pettersson, and this is coming to us from JFresh Hockey, who does a lot of great stuff. And as you can see there, Pettersson's projected WAR is at a 91%. His even strength offense is at a 27%. His even strength defense, so like we just mentioned, his defense has been solid, is at a 92%. Power play is 85%. Penalty kill is 62%. His finishing is at 85%. His goals are at 80%. First assists are at 22%. Penalties at 97%. And complete competition at 94%. Teammates 90%. You can see the WAR percentile rank right there. So it has definitely gone down from 2023-24 season to now. There was obviously that huge dip in 24-25. And his offense versus defense versus finishing has obviously gone down as well, particularly his offense. As you can see there, gone down from 23-24 to this year. His defense obviously went up last year and is about even keel for this year. And then finishing, that also has gone down in the last couple of years, from 23-24 to now. And then it's kind of taken it's gone a bit back up, as you can tell. But let's continue on with the article. Backers of Pettersson will point to the fact that he hasn't been playing with good wingers. While that's true, he was also an elite offensive producer earlier in his career while playing with middle six wingers such as Ilya Mikheyev, Niels Höglander, and Anthony Beauvillier. And of course, it's hard to ignore his middling production when he's the NHL's 8th highest paid player. Perhaps it was also telling on Tuesday that when Canucks head coach Adam Foote was asked by the media in Ottawa about players who have filled the leadership void in Quinn Hughes' absence, he mentioned 5 players. None of them were named Elias Pettersson. That is actually quite intriguing, and perhaps we'll look into that a little bit, and perhaps we'll know a little bit more about that, because that is very interesting to hear. Although Pettersson's struggles have been well documented, he has been scoring with more regularity of late. Over his last 8 games, the Sundsvall Sweden native has 4 goals in 8 games. Could a hot streak be what it takes for a team to pay up for his services? That's what a large portion of the fan base is likely hoping for. Now, before we continue and discuss more about Pettersson, let's do my mid-show sponsor read. And I'd like to start off by thanking my main and primary sponsor, none other than DraftKings Sportsbook, the official sports betting partner of the NHL.
Nobody does selling better than Shopify. Shopify is the home of the #1 checkout on the planet. And the not-so-secret, with Shop Pay that boosts conversions up to 50%, meaning way less carts go abandoned and way more sales going through. So if you're into growing your business, your commerce platform better be ready to sell wherever your customers are scrolling or strolling. On the web, in your store, in their feed, and everywhere in between. Businesses that sell more, sell on Shopify. Upgrade your business and get the same checkout that Skims uses. Sign up for your $1 per month trial period for 3 months at shopify.com/Westwood1, all lowercase. Go to shopify.com/Westwood1 to upgrade your selling today. Shopify.com/Westwood1.
Never experienced the jaw-dropping moments that make hockey? Hockey? Well, you can experience them all with DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NHL. Missouri listeners, listen up. DraftKings Sportsbook is now live in the Show Me State. New customers, this one's for you. Bet just $5, and if your bet wins, you'll get $200 in bonus bets instantly. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use code THPN, that's code THPN, to turn $5 into $200 in bonus bets if your bet wins. In partnership with DraftKings, the crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. In New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY, which is 467-369. In Connecticut, help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-78-9777 or visit ccpg.org. Please play responsibly on behalf of Boot Hill Casino and Resort in Kansas. Pass-through per wager may apply in Illinois. 21 plus age and eligibility varies by jurisdiction. Void in Ontario. Restrictions apply. Bet must win to receive bonus bets, which expire in 7 days. Minimum odds required. For additional terms and responsible gaming resources, see dkng.co/audio. This is a limited time offer. Copyright NHL 2025, all rights reserved. I'd like to thank my secondary sponsor, Gassy Jack Art, maker of this fine artwork you see here right here in front of you, and what you usually see over my shoulder as well. You guys can check them out at GassyJackArt.com. All right. Now, fans have been calling for the Canucks to trade Elias Pettersson for about a year now, particularly both prior to and following the Elias Pettersson, JT Miller rift fiasco. Things did start to die off a little after his no-move clause officially kicked in. Obviously, fans were calling for it prior to his no-move clause kicking in, and, that being the sole, a main reason that they were calling for it. Of course, fans still voiced their desire to have him traded since then, and now it's come up again, as he is still not shown that he can be the 100-point player that he once was. Let's take a look at his stats currently right now. Oh, crap, I thought I had that up. Sorry, guys, give me one quick second, and I will bring up his stats. Could have sworn I had added it, but that's okay. There we go. All right. So as you can see, people probably already know about 2018, 2019. We want to focus on 2025, 2026. 38 games played, 13 goals, 15 assists, good enough for 28 points. And of course, he is projected to finish with 54 points, 25 goals, 29 assists in 74 games. I know, people probably look at that 54 points and go, seriously? That is not a $11.6 million player. And you are absolutely right. That is not. But I think a lot of people will not be as upset about it. And this is just my opinion because of the type of season that the Canucks are having right now and the fact that it's a lost season. And yes, I can confidently say it is a lost season because, that's just what it is at this point. So I guess that may soften the blow a little bit. The fact that Pettersson likely won't even get to 60 points. Could that change? Maybe. I mean, if Pettersson goes on a heater, that could potentially change. But at least, and this is just me, at least it's better than the 45-point season that he had the year prior. And if that continues to be like an uphill trajectory over the next few years, hey, I'd be sad. Personally, I would be satisfied with that. But obviously, 54 points is not ideal for a player who is paid like he is. Now, on that note, he has not had a multi-point game since November 17th against the Florida Panthers when he had 2 goals. Since then, it has been all single points for Pettersson. Although, on that note, Pettersson has only had 6 multi-point games in 38 games played. And I will say this, though he does have 4 goals since the calendar flipped to 2026, and he's also got 5 points in 7 games to start the new year. So that is obviously positive when it comes to Elias Pettersson. He has been playing better as of late. The question is, can that continue and can he sustain it? Is the real major question. Personally, and this is once again just my opinion, despite the fact that the Canucks are listening on calls for Elias Pettersson, I still don't think he's going to be traded. And again, that is just my personal opinion. And that's essentially been my opinion this entire time throughout this whole, are they going to trade Pettersson stuff? Even dating back to before his no move clause kicked in. Back then, I didn't think they were going to trade Pettersson. Like, at all. I've strongly been in the I don't think they're going to trade PD boat for a really long time now. Just because, and even more so now that they've traded Horvat, they've traded Miller, they've traded Hughes. since those three have been traded, I mean, if you really think about it, if they trade PD, that'll be Horvat, Miller, Hughes, and PD all traded, within a short time span. But again, that's just my personal opinion. I don't think they're going to trade Pettersson. I think they want him to, be one of the probably few guys still left or still veterans, quote unquote, to help lead the younger guys. But do Canuck fans even want him to go on a hot streak, as it could very well hurt the tank? Do you want him to start ramping up the points, much like what Trevor mentioned, to entice teams to give up something big for him in a trade? Now, apparently, and this is just a rumor, so take it with a grain or pinch of salt, if the Canucks were to trade Pettersson, sorry, let me just get this down. There we go. If the Canucks were to trade Pettersson, they would want a center back in return. That's just logical at this point, right? A center for a center, or a center would have to be involved in the package sent back. Everybody knows that centers are not easy to come by right now. And the teams that have really good centers, they're not willing to part with them for nothing and are likely more eager to hold on to them than trade them. If you think about it, Chicago with Connor Bedard, San Jose with Macklin Celebrini, those two teams aren't going to be giving up those two guys, and they're both centers. You really think that the Jets are going to be willing to trade a guy like, wait, is Scheifele a center? I can't remember. Let me quickly look that up, because that's kind of bothering me. Because I was going to say Mark Scheifele is another one, but I don't want to look like a fool. Yeah, Scheifele is a center. Okay, cool. So yeah, you don't expect the Jets to be willing to part ways with Mark Scheifele. And then, you even think, the Red Wings and Dylan Larkin, that's not likely a player they are going to be willing to part for nothing, or they're going to want something big in return for those players. So that's just the point that I'm trying to get across when it comes to trading Elias Pettersson and the Canucks wanting a center in return. Who do you think has been possibly calling the Canucks on Pettersson? Do you guys think it could be the Hurricanes, who have shown interest in the past? Do you think it could be a new team calling the Canucks about Pettersson? Do you even think that Pettersson will even be traded? And do you think that his no-move clause, which will factor into whether or not he gets traded, something we slightly went over a little bit during that article, but yes, before they can really start any trade discussions with Pettersson, they need to talk to both Pettersson and his agent first. And they both need them to be on board and approve a trade. And we don't even know if Pettersson would be on board for a trade when it comes to this. We've heard in the past, I mean, we haven't heard it recently, but we've heard in the past that Pettersson wants to be here, which is I would say is a positive. I would say it is the opposite of Quinn Hughes. Quinn Hughes clearly didn't want to be here anymore, but Pettersson said he wants to be here. And on top of that, we even mentioned in a previous video talking about Pettersson that he's on board for a rebuild. He's keen on a rebuild. He thinks it's a good thing. And Quinn Hughes, from what we know, was not interested in a rebuild. But if Pettersson is, perhaps that might make the team not be as willing to trade him. Who knows? That's just a little observation that I had. But let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. And as always, if you guys like this video, be sure to hit that like button. And if you want to stay up to date on all your Vancouver Canucks content, be sure to smash that subscribe button and turn on your notifications so you don't miss a single video. We have our very own merchandise store, so go ahead, check it out. Currently, we have our 1-year anniversary collection now available and on sale. We are rapidly approaching our 1-year anniversary, and it's complete with our new redesigned logo, both in blue and green, as well as our skate version of the logo. And personally, I really absolutely love how the skate version of the logo looks, especially on that black hoodie, as you can see on your screen here. And you guys can check it all out at thelinechangepodcast.threadless.com. As I mentioned, we do have a bit of a sale going on, so go ahead and check that out. Want to join the discussion and have more discussions such as this one? Join our official Discord. There's a link to it in the description down below. It's completely free to join, so go ahead and do that if you are interested. You can find and interact with us on social media. We're everywhere: Facebook, Instagram, X, TikTok, even Blue Sky. Feel free to give us a follow on all of our social media platforms. Speaking of platforms, we are available on both Spotify and Apple Podcast. Wherever you... let me redo that. You can find us, if you prefer an audio version of this podcast, you can find us on both Spotify and Apple Podcast. On Spotify, feel free to give us a follow, as well as rate and review us on either platform. Also, if there happened to be a episode that you absolutely loved, want to listen to over and over and over again, go ahead and download any episode that you want, or download your favorite episode. It obviously really helps out the podcast, and of course, we are very appreciative of it. But that's going to do it for me. And as always, let's keep tanking. Let's keep tanking. What do? We tank. I'll catch you guys in the next video.
Momento Zen ofrecido por IKEA. Encuentren su paz interior, ordenando su ropa interior. Que organizar cada cajón sea como una meditación. Organicen y solucionen su caos diario con un nuevo armario.
Visita IKEA y encuentra la manera de que tu habitación respire paz y armonía, y tú también, con buena calidad y buen precio. IKEA, sueña sin medida.
If you like the show, please take a moment to rate, review, and subscribe. It really does help the show to grow. Thank you for listening.